Hello student, this is Sunil Shekhar and I am an assistant professor at BBD University, Lucknow. In today's video, we'll try to learn the concept of arrays in Java. So, taking a simple definition of array, you can say that array is a collection of variables of same data type. Now, what is that same data type? Actually, if you want to create an array of if you create an array of integer type, you can only store the values of integer type in that. And if you want to make an array of string type, you have to take the data type of that array as string and so on. So that we can say that an array, if it is made to store the elements of integer type, you cannot store a value of type float into that. So on the basis of that, we can say that the arrays are of two types, that is a single dimensional array and a multi-dimensional array. Single dimensional array is a normal array where the array contains sequential elements of same type. So this is an example of an array like int my array equals to 10, 20, 30, 40. These are some elements that I am initializing into this array, and this is called the declaration and initialization of array. Now there are two ways in which we can declare an array, a single dimension or a multi-dimensional array, that is the static declaration and dynamic declaration, that we'll see with the help of the coding in our Visual Studio Code later. But in the next type of array is the multi-dimensional array. Now, a multi-dimensional array in Java is an array of arrays. A two-dimensional array is an array of one-dimensional arrays, and a three-dimensional array is an array of two-dimensional arrays. So, as you can see, a multi-dimensional array looks like a simple table having rows and columns. So one more thing about the array is the index of that, and the array in most of the languages has the index starting with 0, but that is not true in all the cases. The arrays can be defined as 1 or any n values in other languages as well. Okay, so let's create an array of type integer. And the simple syntax of creating that array is the name of the data type and the square bracket and the name of the array. After that, the array name could be anything, but I suggest that it should be kept meaningful. And then there are two ways in which you can create this array, by using the static declaration and using dynamic declaration. We will see both in this lecture. So let's first use the first method, that is the static declaration of array. So what I am doing, I am simply initializing this array right here and at the time of declaration. So this can also be as taken as the array declaration as well as initialization. Now I have initialized this array 1 with the elements 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so now if you want to loop through this array, you simply have to use a for loop. You can use any loop actually, but I am using a for loop to access this array. That is very simple. As you know, you all know what is how you can use the loop. Here. So before using that loop, one thing that I want to tell you is about the length property of the array. So if you want to calculate the length of the array, you can use a property that is length, right? So we'll use that property on this array, and that will calculate the length for us. So we will not use 4, 5 or these kind of numbers to access that array. We'll simply use the property that is len. So I is less than len and I plus plus. Because in most of the time you don't know what is the length of that array, so you can simply use the length property to calculate that and use for loop, use that property inside that for loop. Now simply print this array system dot out dot println and then array. 1 I. So what the statement will do? Actually, this statement, this I, which we have initialized with 0, and you know the array index always starts with 0. So this I will iterate, this loop will iterate over each and every element of the array and will print it for us using this statement system.out.println. So let's execute this and see what is the result of this program. Yeah, as you can see, we have these elements displayed on this console, that is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is a simple array that we have created using a static declaration. Now in another method of use is declaring and initializing that array, that is now, let's use another method of initializing that array, that is dynamic initialization. So for that, create one more array, that is int array2, and this time the declaration statement will be changed a little bit, and see how you can initialize that array, how can you declare that array without initializing it at right there. So let's declare it. Now I want to create an array of 5 elements. So in this way you can create an array by specifying the size of an array. One thing that I want to tell you, which is very important in the two types of initialization, that here we have initialized this array uh, with elements of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The number of elements is 4. So the compiler will allocate as much memory as is required to create this array. That is, the number of elements is 5. The size of this elements array will be 5. Now here I am not initializing this array, so I definitely have to specify the size of that array, because the compiler, that will be an error if you don't initialize that array, and even if you could do, and if you don't give the specify the size of the array. So let's initialize it with the size. So that will be an error actually. So you have to, whether you have to specify the size or you have to initialize that array right then. So for dynamic initialization of array, you have to create uh, an object of the scanner class. So I have created an object of the scanner class as sc, and now I have to use this scanner class object. So array to I equals to sc dot next int. Okay, so what is happening here? Let's see. Now we have this array which we want to initialize dynamically. We are asking values from the user, and for that we'll have to give some message to the user to enter some values, and that is by using println statement. I will pass simply a message, enter values for array 2, right? And then we'll make an object of a scanner class, that is scanner sc equals to new scanner system.in, because we are using the system.in stream in order to take the values from the user, and then we are passing those values into that array by using a simple for loop. Okay, so this is a very simple statement, sc.nextInt. You know, nextInt is a method that reads the integer value, that reads the integer values entered by the user on the console, and by using this sc.nextInt, will get the values entered by the user and will pass those values into this array on the respective indexes, that is starting with 0. Okay, so let's now print this array. For that we again have to use one more loop. Okay, and use a simple statement, system.out.println and array to I, right? So let's execute this. Yeah, it's asking for the values for the array 2. So I'm entering 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. Okay, so I entered this to 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13, and it's printed on this console 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. So in this way we have created an array you in Java, and initialize it in two ways, that is the static initialization and dynamic initialization. And we have also learned about the length property of the array that is used to calculate the length of the program, in which we created a simple array and initialized it in two ways, that is the static initialization and dynamic initialization. But there is more about arrays in Java which we'll see in the future videos, so join us and don't miss the content. Okay, thanks for watching.